Do you ever feel like weight loss when you're over 40 is like a mystery without any clues? Well, you are not alone, my friend. Today, I'm going to be sharing the secrets that no one ever tells you about weight loss over 40. And these are going to be things that work, that are sustainable, and that involve absolutely no more crazy diets. Can I get an amen? We have got a lot to cover today, so grab a drink, sit down, and I want you to know that you are in the right place. So in case this is your first time meeting me, I'm Tracy Campoli. I'm 50 years old, and I've been in the fitness and wellness industry for over 25 years. So I do know a thing or two about how much our body changes, especially in our 40s. But I also want to be the bearer of good news for you. You don't have to think that there's no way you can lose weight, because I've helped hundreds and hundreds of women all over the globe lose weight and do it in a way that's sustainable and doesn't involve anything crazy. So we've all heard this one before. Your metabolism grinds to an absolute halt after 40, right? Wrong. Now here's the real deal. It's actually a lot more nuanced than you think. So studies have shown that your metabolism actually stays relatively stable from your 20s to your 60s. So that might lead some of you scratching your head saying, okay, Tracy, so what's happening to my body? And why do I feel like I'm gaining weight seemingly overnight and I haven't changed a thing? Any of you experience that? Real talk, your lifestyle actually plays more of a role than your age. So here's the kicker. What actually slows down your metabolism is us. After the age of 40, we tend to move less. And look, it's not your fault. I'm sure that you're dealing with more in your career, with your family. You've got more responsibilities than probably ever before in your life. And then kind of throw in some aging parents, and it's a lot. So getting yourself active and moving as much as you did, say, in your 20s, it's not going to be as easy. Listen, I had my daughter when I was almost 45 years old, and I know that I have to make a commitment to move my. So it's actually less about your metabolism breaking down and more about your muscle mass declining over the age of 40. By the time you're 40 years old, you might have lost up to 10% of your muscle mass. Hear that again, 10%. That's a lot. But I'm not here to freak you out or scare you, but I do want to let you know, unless you change it, you can actually keep your muscle mass and keep weight off of your body in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. Obviously, our hormones play a role in muscle mass and in weight gain, especially over the age of 40, right? Our hormones are shifting and changing. It starts happening subtly in our 30s, but then in our 40s, it is like loud noise that you just cannot ignore. And actually, our bodies become more efficient with age, but probably not in the way that we like. Our bodies really don't need as many calories as we age. So if you're eating like you ate in your 20s, it might be a little bit more than your caloric needs now in your 40s. Now, one thing that I always say on my channel is that knowledge is power. And the more that we can understand our metabolism and our metabolic needs, which also shift and change day to day, the better. So I've been using Lumen for the last few months, and I have to tell you, it is so cool. I'm a self-proclaimed data nerd. I like to know what's happening in my body, and anything that can really dive in a little bit deeper, I am so here for. Lumen is the first handheld metabolic coach. With just one breath, first thing in the morning, Lumen can measure your metabolism. It lets you know if you're burning fats or carbs and gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, workouts, sleep, and even stress management. And I love the fact that Lumen lets me know what's happening with my body in real time. I don't know, if you're anything like me, there's something just so satisfying knowing first thing in the morning if I'm burning either fats or carbohydrates, and really understanding what that means in the grand scheme of things is huge power. And one thing that's really key, especially over the age of 40, is your body being a little bit more flexible in its ability to shift from burning fats or burning carbohydrates, depending on your body's needs. And that's what we like to call metabolic flexibility. So definitely check out Lumen. It's lumen.me/Tracy, just like right here on the screen. Or just click on the link below in the description. If you don't know where the description box is, underneath my head, you're gonna see the title of today's video. tap on more, and if you're on mobile, you'll tap again, and there's where you'll see everything in the description box. And I also asked Lumen to hook you up with a special savings, so you'll get 20% off your Lumen. I think this is one of the coolest, most exciting innovations when it comes to our health and really understanding your metabolism. So it's not just a mystery anymore, you're really gonna get it. So definitely check it out and let me know when you do. One of the things that I tell all of my clients constantly is that the biggest muscle and your biggest secret weapon when it comes to weight loss and really looking and feeling your best at any age and any stage is between your ears, and that is your mindset. So here's 3 key mindset shifts that you can adopt right now for sustained weight loss in your 40s and long beyond. So grab a pen and pencil and write this down. Numero uno, ditch the diet mentality. Listen, I was a dancer and I tried every single fad and crash diet known to man. And you know what it left me with? Feeling like a failure, quick weight loss that I could never keep off, and I just felt like I was a complete loser. And I do not want that to be the case for you. Now, some of you might say, oh, listen, I haven't dieted in a long time, but maybe your mindset has not shifted. I see this in my clients and my students when they'll say, but doesn't that have too many calories? Wait, isn't that just too much fat? And it's like all that old training that we had, especially if you're like me. Like I said, I'm 50, and I grew up in the 80s and the 90s where it was like fat-free was good, and calories mattered more than anything, and eating fat was the devil, and all of these rumors and lies that we were told. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to rewire your brain away from that diet mentality. The key to freedom is letting that go. When you really know that there's no good or bad food, there's no judgment on food, it's just a choice. Are you gonna make choices that are in alignment with your goals or not? Sometimes your choice is actually, no, today I'm not. Today, the best thing that's gonna just feed my soul is going to be a chocolate chip cookie, and I'm not gonna feel guilty about it. It takes practice, for sure. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it absolutely can be done where you stop looking at food as the enemy or even just like a math equation, and you start realizing that your body is really smart, really wise. And the more that you treat it well, it's gonna also treat you well, and you're gonna look and feel so much better. Here's a quick little nugget for you that you'll wanna write down. Fad diets and crash diets, they're kind of like bad exes. They're tempting, but they're never gonna give you the results that you want, so just ditch them. The number 2 thing that can definitely shift your mindset and make it so much easier for you to lose weight is focus on adding things rather than subtracting. Think about it. If you're always thinking about, I can't eat this, I can't do that, that's not on my plan, I can't do this, blah, 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 that's gonna feel really crappy, right? Whereas if you focus on, wow, what are some fun ways for me to get more protein into my diet? Ooh, look at all of these beautiful vegetables. Or when you're at the grocery store, you're looking for new ingredients that are in alignment with your weight loss goals. That's gonna make it so much easier for you to not only get the results that you want, but also to enjoy the process. And guess what? Let me just remind you, you got one life. And if you're not enjoying yourself, I don't care what you're doing, why bother doing it, right? It's like, make it pleasurable, make it fun, make it enjoyable. That's gonna make it, I promise you, so much easier for you to stick to your plan. And this one's a doozy, and this is probably my favorite one. The number 3 thing that's gonna really help you lose weight in your 40s and beyond is to ditch your scale. I know some of you are freaking out because, again, if you were in the 80s, we were always weighing ourselves, right? But it's not a marker. It's not gonna give you the full picture of what's really going on. Listen, I teach weight loss and fitness, and I've been doing this for over 25 years, and I haven't owned a scale in over 20 years myself, because I realized that when that little metal box is there, I put, again, some non-existing judgment on it. Oh, I'm good today. Ooh, I like this number today. And it would color my whole mood. And then finally, at a certain point when I was around 29, I thought, why am I doing this to myself? Like, this doesn't mean I'm a good or a bad person. And it also doesn't tell you the truth, right? You might be starting a new fitness program. Well, guess what? Your number on the scale is likely gonna go up because of natural muscle tears that we want to have happen that fill with fluid. So that can make you actually gain weight. And if that frustrates you, you're not gonna have a good day. So I would say focus on other markers for success in weight loss. How are your clothes fitting? How are you feeling? Are you feeling confident in your body? Measurements. If you want data, rather than a scale, measurements are going to be a little bit truer because you're either, getting smaller, which is going to happen if you're gaining muscle, which might mean the number on the scale is going up, but your body is actually shrinking down. Or, are you getting larger, or is nothing happening, right? And all of those things, I'm here to remind you, are normal, right? Weight loss is not like a straight line ever. It's always a little bit up and down, and then sometimes you're just like this. None of it is wrong. None of it means you're doing anything wrong. It's just a long game. Sorry to say, but it's true. It is a long game if you really want to maintain your weight, especially in your 40s and beyond. So now we're going to get into 5 easy and implementable tips that you can start doing right now to expedite your weight loss, no matter what your age is. Number 1 is prioritize protein. I feel like 2024 was the year of protein. That's all anyone was talking about. But there's a huge reason why this is crucially important, especially when you're over 40. Like I said before, we naturally start losing muscle mass. And one of the best ways for you to preserve muscle mass and also to protect your bone health is by increasing your protein. In fact, I did a whole video here on YouTube that you guys all seem to really like. If you haven't checked it out, check out that video next, where I really break down great ways for you to get in protein every single meal and to up your protein grams by about 100 grams a day. It's actually really easy. And I don't count calories or really track macros, but I do like to have a general idea, especially when it comes to protein. Am I getting enough grams of protein in? Here's the other thing. Protein makes you feel more satisfied. Think about it. If you eat breakfast and you have like a 3-egg omelet with vegetables and even some cheese or whatever, compared to on a day if you have pancakes. I love pancakes. I love a blueberry pancake. However, I do know that when on the days I'll have a blueberry pancake, which again, it's not a bad thing. It's just a choice. I notice that an hour and a half later, I'm hungry. Whereas when I have an omelet, my body feels really satisfied, probably up until lunch and maybe even beyond. So protein is really, really key, especially if you want to lose weight. Here's a pro tip for you. Make it really convenient. I like having hard-boiled eggs in my refrigerator. I have high-quality protein bars in my office. I just make sure that I have Greek yogurt or cottage cheese so that I always have easy protein sources in my food. And don't sleep on leftovers. That's a great way for you to get an extra protein really quickly and easily. All right, here's one I'm gonna shout from the rooftops. I've been talking about it forever, and I'm gonna keep on talking about it until you're actually doing it, which is resistance training really matters, especially over the age of 40. You've got to maintain your muscle mass and your bone strength, because unfortunately, we start losing that muscle mass in our 40s, and unless you're actually doing something to preserve it, you're gonna lose it. That's kind of why we get that sort of like squish. I've experienced it myself. I remember after I had my daughter and my hormones were totally out of whack, and obviously I wasn't like on my fitness game, I was like, telling my doctor, like, I just feel kind of squishy, right? And all the things that I was doing before, they just kind of weren't working. And if you're thinking like, ugh, I'm a cardio queen, because again, in the 80s and 90s, we were told cardio, 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 here's the deal. When you have more muscle, you're gonna just naturally burn more calories anyway because you've got more muscle mass. So start your resistance training. Now, my favorite ways of doing resistance training are using hand weights, free weights. I don't even use super heavy ones. Body weight workouts for the win. Think about it. How much do you weigh? Well, if you're doing a body weight exercise, you're lifting that, 120, 130, 140 pounds, right? Whatever you weigh, right? You're lifting it, you're working it. So that's a really easy and totally free way to get in more resistance training. I love Pilates on the Reformer also. I do Pilates Reformer class twice a week, and those springs are up to, I believe, 50 pounds. So don't think, even though I know Pilates looks like you're like dancing and it's so easy. When I was a teacher and I had like the big guys doing all the weights in the gym, I'd be like, come in here and try this. They'd be like, ugh. It's hard. So resistance training is an absolute must. And one other point to note when it comes to fitness and weight loss, compound exercises for the win. And it's not like you don't do any cardio, but what research has shown, especially over the age of 40, that really moves the needle the most and gives you the best results are when you're doing a combination of cardio and resistance training or strength training in the same clip. So guess what? You only need 30 minutes a day. Hear that again, 30 minutes a day. And that's why in my fitness membership and community, Total Body Transformation, almost every single workout includes resistance exercise and cardio. We've got hundreds and hundreds of workouts that are really designed for women over the age of 40 that are busy, that want to get great results, that want to increase their health, that want to slim their waistline, and they want to increase their longevity. So if you haven't ever checked out TBT, this is a great time to do it. Make sure to check it out in the description box. We'd love to welcome you in. The third thing that's really going to help to expedite your weight loss, especially over the age of 40, is focusing on being neat. No, I'm not talking about cleanliness. I'm talking about non-exercise activity thermogenesis. What the heck are you talking about, Tracy Campoli? Let me break it down for you. It basically means being active when you're not actively working out. You know, I look at my 5-year-old daughter. She is skipping, she is running, she is dancing, she is just like flitting around the house at all times. It's a lot, but I love her. And that's how we're supposed to move, right? She has neat happening all day long. And unfortunately, with age, we forget about activity that isn't just your workouts. So while you're watching this video, for example, you could be marching in place. You could be walking on a little walking pad. When you have a phone call, put on your AirPods and take a walk. So it's a walk and talk, right? Think of ways to implement some movement in your day, even if you're watching TV, walking on the walking pad, or using a mini rebounder, which will also bonus points, give you a little bit more resistance training in your life and help your bone health. But really think of just creative ways to just move. Set a timer on your phone. Let's say you work at a traditional desk job in an office and you just find that like your butt feels like it's turning into the chair. Set alarms on your phone, even if you're just getting up and going to the water cooler or walking to the bathroom. And if you're in a bathroom stall, no one's gonna stop you from doing some jumping jacks in the stall. I know it sounds crazy, but this is your life and you've got one chance to do it. And I promise you that when you're moving more through the day, not only is your waistline going to start slimming down and you're going to start seeing the results of all your healthy habits, but your energy is also going to shoot up because you're not being so sedentary. One other thing that I like to do is just kind of track my steps, you know, just to make sure that I'm being really active during the day. There are certain days where my step count is actually a little bit lower, and I know that, but on the days where I get to take a morning walk, or even like today, for example, I have a meeting and I'm like, do I have to be in front of the computer? No, I can do it on FaceTime and just take a walk with it, keep myself off camera until I need to speak. So think of those creative ways and then track your steps. All of your phones probably come with a step tracker, or you could invest in a really inexpensive pedometer just to have an idea of like, how neat am I being? Keep it neat. If you are overwhelmed with fitness and wellness, the fourth thing that you can do is incorporate mini workouts throughout your day. I know I always say 30 minutes a day, but guess what? You can do 10, 10, and 10. In fact, in Total Body Transformation, we have a whole series called Turbo 10, which are 10-minute workouts. Those are just like, don't skip your workout, just do something. Those add up. I always think of it like a bank deposit, right? You put that money in and it might seem small, but like over time you keep depositing that money and it's like all of a sudden you're like, damn, I'm doing good. So give yourself the grace and the freedom of little movement breaks for the win. You know, there's so much more research that's coming up and just really showing that those short workouts are actually more effective for women over the age of 40. The sweet spot is that 30-minute workout, but again, it doesn't have to be sustainable. Now, sometimes we do want to do a longer workout if you're working on improving your stamina, right? Like let's say you're training for a marathon, a half marathon or something like that. Of course, there's a place for that. But if you're just looking for general fitness, wellness, health, and weight loss, those little workouts, key. And my final tip for you to easily and sustainably lose weight in 2025 is to implement and use the It Girl of 2025. Now, I like to think of myself as like a health and wellness and nutrition trends forecaster, if you will. And I'm telling you, and you've heard it here first, fiber is going to be the It Girl of 2025. And here's why. All last year in 2024, health and wellness always goes in cycles, right? And what always works the best is the real stuff, sustainability, right? Stuff that you can actually do. But we've been talking about protein so much in 2024. But if you don't have your fiber, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get constipated. And that's gonna make you not be able to lose weight. You're also gonna feel if you're not taking a poo-poo. So fiber is crucially important. Fiber like keeps things moving. It's gonna make you feel full, feel satisfied. But not only that, it also can help balance your blood sugar and help you to not have as many cravings. And raise your hand if you hate it when you're having cravings for sugar all the time. I notice when I'm drinking a lot of alcohol and eating more sugar, guess what I want more of? Alcohol and sugar, right? It's just our body. It doesn't mean, again, anything's wrong with you, and there's no judgment if you're having any of those things, but probably not in alignment with your weight loss goals. So here's a really easy way to increase your fiber. Incorporate fruits and vegetables with every single meal. Yes, every single meal. Bonus points if you incorporate more of them. So if I think of like a plate, I want to say like 3/4 of it should be fruits and vegetables. Emphasis on the vegetables, and especially dark leafy greens. Why? Because they are nutritional powerhouses. We can go deeper in this in another video if you'd like. I don't want to have you here all day long, but make sure that you are getting adequate fiber, not from supplements or powders. You don't need to do that. You could also add chia seeds to your diet. So I always recommend soaked chia seeds. They're easier to digest, safer for your body, but you could add those. Let's say you're making a smoothie or you want to do like a chia water, you know, with some like lemon juice and I don't know, a little sparkling water and soaked chia. It looks weird, but it really does help, and it helps you to stay satisfied and full and to increase your fiber. And also a delicious chia pudding. I mean, chia pudding is so good, so easy to make, and I go through phases of it, but like I noticed that that's a great breakfast option, again, to have a lot of protein, a lot of fiber, and keeps you really full and satisfied the whole morning. So thank you for being here. Let me just remind you, my friend, weight loss is not impossible in your 40s and 50s. It simply is not. It just means that we have to change our focus a little bit, and it absolutely can be done in a realistic and sustainable way. I actually have created a free masterclass if weight loss is your goal. I will also leave that link down below, and I really would love to see you there. It gives you my exact 3-step system to creating weight loss without dieting, counting calories, or obsessively tracking macros. So definitely check that out. And if you want to keep hanging with me here on YouTube, make sure to check out this video next, and I will see you there.